It is General Leia Organa's Saturday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. A 17-year-old diagnosed with both OCD and ADHD listened to an Andrew Huberman podcast and was warned off against meditating, told that introspection would exacerbate his challenges. And now he's rather scared, and that's understandable. Allow me to set your mind at ease. Number one, Andrew Huberman is not a meditation master. Number two, Andrew Huberman is not taken seriously by other neuroscientists. Now, I'm sure as a podcaster, he's very successful. So I wouldn't take his warnings terribly seriously. Part of his shtick is to frighten people and thus create states of hypersuggestibility and then prey upon them to one degree or another. Um, I don't have OCD personally. I have ADHD and autism that has been, and when you have both, it's called ADHD. And I have all the comorbidities. And here's what I found. I found that not all styles of meditation are created equal. And I've also found that Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything is crap. So do not be surprised when 90% of meditation teachers or so-called meditation teachers endorse concentration and analysis. Any reputable neuroscientist will tell you that the only parts of our brain capable of performing those tasks are the medial and dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, and when that tissue is overused, it triggers our amygdala, which is the seat of anxiety and aggression, and no one wants more of that. Fortunately, the greatest spiritual luminaries have always insisted that instead of indulging our controlling tendencies to be rigid, that we indulge our latent tendencies to be flexible, loving, laid back, and to bring that to our spiritual training. So instead of relying on our prefrontal cortex to concentrate, we can rely on our sympathetic nervous system to just notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. To notice whatever comes up, be it a sight, a sound, a sensation, a flavor, a scent, whether it is an emotion, an intention, a thought, a memory, or an imagining. To notice whatever comes up, whether it is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. And the only label we need ever use during this process is simply the demonstrative pronoun this. Now, of course, you must ask, what are we to do with that which we notice? And the answer is we rely upon our parasympathetic nervous system to physically relax and mentally release. So during our exhalation, silently and mentally, we could recite the one-syllable verb, ease. If we're honest with ourselves, if we're vulnerable, we will not only notice things, but we will notice our reaction to things. Some things we dread, other things we desire. Sometimes we feel a resistance to the absence of that which we desire. Other times we feel a resistance to the presence of that which we dread. As we relax into our exhalations, silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease, we will find ourselves releasing our grip upon our resistance. The next in-breath, the cycle starts all over again, and that's fine because meditation is not a path as much as a a process that can be mastered according to the Buddha in as little as 7 days. So if I was you, I'd work with a psychiatrist or a psychologist who specializes in your diagnosis. If you can find one who, in addition to all their formal training, has received continuing education when it comes to nutrition and veganism, that will help you even more. There's a wonderful free database. It's called tcrm.com/find a doctor. And you can find a psychiatrist or a PhD who has formal training, but also has received their continuing education with lifestyle choices to help your body and your brain and your mind and your life. I wish you the best.